Hello, everybody. We are live with Dormie Network, and we have Paula Creamer live tonight with us from the LPGA. Paula is known as the Pink Panther, our U.S. Open champion in 2010. She has 10 wins, one major championship. She's made 7 Solheim Cup teams. She has been named the co-chair of the First Tee Young Ambassador Council. She became the fastest player in LPGA history to cross the $4 million mark in career earnings and the $5 million career mark in career earnings. She has set the LPGA record for the most money earned by a rookie, breaking Kari Webb's record. She was the 2005 Louise Suggs Rookie of the Year. She was the 2003 AJGA Player of the Year. I'm getting tired just talking about this. She was 2003 and 2004 semifinalists for both the U.S. Women's Amateur and the U.S. Girls Junior Championship. She also won a total of 11 AJGA tournaments. She has had an incredible career, and we're excited for Paula Creamer to join us. Paula should be joining any second. She is going to be new to Instagram Live here, so we're just waiting on her to join. Here she is, I think, joined. Let me see here. Here we go. We're going live now. Here we are. Look at you.
Hi.
Welcome, rookie for Instagram Live. First one. We're so honored to have you.
Thanks for having me. Oh my goodness, I was so nervous. I
know, me too. I'm nervous.
I was like, I think I'm late for my tea time. I mean,
yeah, just a minute. Just a minute. That's all right. I see you got your 3 stripers on.
Yeah.
Always. So what's been up? What have you been doing?
You know, gosh, it's kind of weird living normal. I mean, for once in, I guess, my life. I mean, every time I've ever had a break or anything like that, it's always been because I was injured, you know, and now here I am not really injured and living life and as a kind of a normal person, even though there's so many rules and masks and everything like that. But it's been nice being able to be at home. I'm not gonna lie. It's been nice to stay in one place for a while.
I mean, I was saying before, I can't remember who I was talking to, but this is the most time I've ever spent in my own bed. I mean, you too. I mean, how many nights have you slept in your own bed straight?
I mean, I think the amount of nights that we have slept there is normally like throughout the year.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
And now here we are just going, and it's June, you know, almost July. It's kind of crazy, but you know, I've always said like a vacation is being at home, you know, and now I'm like, okay, it's time to kind of get back to work a little bit. I think I'm ready to get to those hotels.
Yeah, you've been, I've seen you've been cooking a lot. You've been posting some things cooking. You've been on the boat, kind of just relaxing. It must be nice.
You know, it's funny. Like, I definitely loved the water at first, but now like I truly embrace like sunsets and being able to just go out there and kind of, even if it's 20-25 minutes, you know, we go out, Shane and the pups and I, and we just cruise around. Like, it's so nice and relaxing. And, you know, being able to cook, I've been adventurous at times. You know, before I was always a baker, and now I'm kind of getting into the little chef mode. And I mean, I've had some real beauties, and then I've had some ones that are like, no, sorry, we'll order pizza. Like, I feel bad.
Well, you've done Thanksgiving a million times. I know that. That's your favorite meal of the year to cook.
It is. So funny thing is, you bring up Thanksgiving. I just tried to do like turkey legs in the air fryer. No, don't do it. Like, I was so excited. I you know, did all the Pinterest, all the recipes for it. Oh my gosh, turned out terrible. So if anybody knows a good air fryer turkey leg recipe, send it my way.
Yeah, we were doing Zoom calls with my family, and my cousin Pam is like sold on the air fryer. We talk about that every Zoom call we do. So she told me, you got to get an air fryer.
You do. I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing ever. Like, your possibilities are endless, honestly.
Nice. So you've been hitting balls. I saw you have a simulator in your house. I know you just put that in. Have you been doing anything else? Putting? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of short game, you know, doing some putting, some chipping. We go out all the time in the evening because it's not 700 degrees, you know, at
Mm-hmm.
that time
Yeah.
right now here in Florida. But I've been hitting a lot down in the simulator and having
Good.
fun with it. You know, it's
Good.
kind of weird with, I keep saying this whole quarantine's like our rain delays. You know, it's
Yeah.
30 minutes, you know, it's 30 more minutes. Like, it's just like, you know, okay, well, when are we ever going to go out? But
Right.
you kind of got to like stay prepared for it. But it is kind of crazy. I mean, I never had a simulator before. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
used to practice in my garage and
Yep.
like have some video set up, but actually like getting to play courses and play things like that, it's fun, you know,
Yeah,
it's
it's pretty
cool to get
cool.
other people involved too.
Yeah, no, I know a lot of people have been doing that. And it's interesting to see everybody's quarantine home setup, and what people have been, they've been getting creative with it. So it's nice to see that everybody's still practicing. I know you're big on working out, so I know you've been doing a lot of that. Have you been still working with your trainer? How's that been? How's
Yeah,
that been
you
going?
know, I've actually, right before the quarantine all hit, I started doing Pilates,
Oh,
and
nice.
I know, and
Wow.
I know, like on the reformer and doing all
Oh,
these things. This actually is really fun. It's hard. I mean, it's a
yeah,
lot harder than what you think. You know, I did bar and, you know,
yeah.
being a dancer and things. I liked
Hmm.
that kind of stuff, those movements. But man, I've really enjoyed Pilates. And then, of course, quarantine hit, and I was like, I don't have a reformer, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go buy a reformer. So, like,
Well, everybody bought a
yeah, to
Peloton,
that.
so you didn't buy the reformer.
What did you say?
I said everybody bought a Peloton. You didn't buy the
I
reformer.
know, I know. No, I didn't. I didn't buy a Peloton. I didn't buy a reformer. I was
Hmm.
like, I've got an awesome gym here. I can
Yeah.
go and I can do it, and it's really nice to be able to. You know, obviously Shane works out a ton too, so being
Hmm.
able to like bounce off workouts and my trainer
Right.
Justin, they do an online app, you know,
Hmm.
program with New Dimensions, so you
Right.
can kind of go and follow that and still stay in
Nice.
shape and have no excuse. You know,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah.
So, all right, we got to talk about golf. We got to talk about your career and starting out. So, who got you started, and what was your path like when you were younger?
Well, I started when I was 10. I actually lived on the first hole out in California at a golf club called Castlewood Country Club.
Hmm.
And, you know, Pat Hurst was an honorary member there. So, like,
Oh, we
when you
love Pat
walked,
Hurst.
I know. So, when you would walk through the halls, like, of the club, you'd see her with her USAM trophy and all these things. And I was like, one of these days, I'm going to have more of those, or I want to be equal to her. Like, it was so cool to, like, be inspired
Right.
by that. And being able to like kind of just see like girls, you know, and women being
Hmm.
able to play really motivated me. And I took a class with the girls that I used to dance and do gymnastics with. Like one of the girls' moms was really into golf, and she's like,
Hmm.
"You guys have to play." So we went and did a group lesson, and then I'm the only one that like stuck with golf, but I guess the biggest point, like in my growing up career, besides you know obviously having my dad with me,
Hmm.
like a huge part of where I am today. I mean, I
Paul
wouldn't
Creamer.
Mr. Paul
Paul
Creamer.
Creamer.
He you know would come out and we always had a joke. He would you know I danced so much and did all those competitions. Like he
Yeah,
wasn't gonna curl my hair. Like how's dad gonna like put
that's
my
Karen Creamer.
like no, like Paul Creamer, if you know Paul Creamer, like
Yeah.
he's not putting hot rollers in the hair, you know, and that kind of thing. So it was something I could go and do with him, and
Hmm.
I loved it. And then when I was in sixth grade at middle school in Pleasanton, I had to decide
Hmm.
and if I wanted to be on the golf team or the cheerleading squad. So they wouldn't let me do both. And my dad asked me, "Do you want to cheer for people or do you want people to cheer for you?" And I made my decision then, and here I am, 15 years later, with as a professional. Goodness.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned California, but you moved to Florida and you attended the
Hmm.
IMG Academy, and
Hmm.
you took golf to the next level while you were there. You had coaches and trainers and everything. So just explain what that experience was like for you, and when you moved there and decided
Hmm.
that golf was going to be it for you there.
You know, I kind of was looking on the internet. I heard a lot and saw a lot about Ari and Nari's song Wong Lukiet
Mm,
at the time, and you know the twins now they're Ari and Nari's song, and I was like, how do they do it? Where do they
yeah.
go? I want to be like them. And
Hmm.
I saw that they went and attended the David Lebeter Golf Academy at IMG. And I was like, Dad, take me there. I
Hmm.
want to see it. And We went in I think like maybe June, and then in August we went. And I loved it. Like I thought it was the greatest place ever. And then we went back in August, and we had our 5 suitcases with us. You know, like or it was like I think it was 5 suitcases and one in my clubs. You know, it was each and that, and ended up starting school that August, and it was like I fell in love with it. It's not for everybody. The academy life isn't for everybody, but for me, it was like, this is how I want to be able to, you know, kind of achieve my dreams and my goals.
Yeah, that's awesome. So who was your idol, and who did you look up to when you were younger?
Well, 3 main women. So Nancy Lopez, Julie Inkster, huge inspiration. And then being able to play with her, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Kathy Whitworth. So
three pretty good ones.
Yeah, 3. And the craziest thing is I've been able to play golf with all 3 of them, which
that's
is
awesome.
Even crazier. Like a lot of times, you know, you have your role models and you never get to meet them, but here I got to actually play with them.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really special. So we all want to know, how did you get the name Pink Panther? You were afraid of what I was going to ask.
I know.
I know too much about you. I can throw a curveball at you.
That's why I didn't know where you were going with that one. How I got it. Well, I've always loved the color pink. Pink has just like ever since I was a little girl. You know, my backpacks were pink. Everything was pink. And one day I kind of walked on the driving range, and one of the guys that was there, his name's Casey Wittenberg, you know, good player, successful in what he does. And he looked at me. I think I had like 6 different pinks on. And, you know, for me, like, I'm really matchy. So for me to do that much that day was kind of a little bit, you know, not normal. And he's like, what do you think you are? You think you're like a Pink Panther or something? And I was like, yeah, I am the Pink Panther. Like,
and that's where it stuck.
And I was 16 and it stuck. I mean, you could be called way worse things than that, and I will take it. It has nothing to do with the movies. A lot of people think it has something to do with that, and I'm like, no.
Well, somebody just said Pink Panther. Oh, Lisa just said Pink Panther was one of my favorite shows as a kid.
Yeah, see, like I had to watch them ever since I became nicknamed the Pink Panther. I can't be like not knowing what's going on in that, but it has nothing to do with the movies.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good to know. All right. So now 10 wins, 1 major championship. We all know which major championship that was, U.S. Women's Open. And you have over 12 million in career earnings. 10 players in history have crossed that mark. You came out on the LPGA, hit the ground running by winning Rookie of the Year in 2005, Louise Suggs Rookie of the Year. And you became the youngest winner of a multi-round event by winning the Sybase Classic 4 days before your high school graduation. So I remember when I was in high school, I was trying to get the blonde highlights out of my hair before graduation because I went on a college visit and I came home and I wanted blonde highlights. So that's what I was doing before my graduation. You were winning golf tournaments. And then you later went on to win the Evian by 8 shots, became the youngest and fastest player to cross the $1 million mark in career earnings. Kari's going to kill me. You also set an LPGA record year for the most money earned by a rookie, breaking our pal Kari Webb's record. Walk us through the start of 2005 and how that season was for you. I mean, it's memorable.
Oh, you know, you name all those things, and it's, I don't know. I think as you get older, you realize, and you've been out there a long time, like I have been. It's like, it's cool to hear that. Like at first, I was like, no, stop, don't do it. And then you're, oh yeah, cool. Yeah. Like look at those stats. But my 2005 rookie year was, you know, I actually went to Q school as an amateur. So, I mean, not a lot of people did that. And then I ended up actually winning that. And I remember sitting in the scoring tent, and we all had no idea if you had to declare professional, like, what did you do at that time? It was like radios going all over the place. They're like, don't sign the card yet, you know, sitting there, and they're like, are you a professional? I'm like, I'm a professional. You know, like it was one of those things that my dad said when we went kind of into my senior year. He's like, if you're going to try and do this, you know, because I already verbally committed to Stanford. And it was like, if you're going to try and do this, like, do it, you know, make sure it happens. And I ended up doing that. So then when I got out on tour, my number one goal was to make Solheim Cup. That was like my number one goal. And Nancy Lopez was the captain. And it was like, are you kidding me? Like, how could this not like, I need to get on that team. And I didn't want to be a pick. I didn't want to be that. I wanted to make it. And I knew I had to win. And I ended up winning the week before I graduated high school, which was like wild as can be. Like there's, you know, like 70 kids in the class, but like ESPN is there, you know, like so many talented athletes there. But here I am, little LPGA golfer with my, you know, walking down and getting my diploma. But it was really cool. And then be able to earn my spot on that team, you know, under Nancy, and then play all 5 matches my rookie year. Goodness gracious. It was, and then winning Evian too. Oh, I mean, it was a great rookie year. I can't ask for anything better.
Right. And now you get to stay at that nice hotel every year after that.
I know, that the Royale. It's so
So after a season like 2005, how do you reevaluate your goals? I mean, I know you worked a lot with your coach on that, and just kind of talk us. Somebody wants to know, did you wear pink to get your diploma?
I actually did not. I wore black and white. I did.
Shocking. That's what you have on right now.
I know, right?
So how did you reevaluate your goals? I know you worked with a coach, David Whelan, for a long time. And what did you guys talk about after that season was over?
Yeah, that was tough. I actually, if you kind of look at how I started off my 2006 year too, I struggled because I didn't take a break in 05. Like I kept going, and I kept going in 06, and then by 07, that's kind of when I was not burnt out by any means, but I just needed to really realize, like, I can take a rest from golf. Right. It doesn't need to be 24 hours a day. And unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, when you're that age, it doesn't matter. Like your priorities are that. So you're going to do whatever it takes to get there.
Right.
But, you know, we had to talk about it, Wheelie and I. We had to sit there and be like, all right, like let's make short-term goals instead of just all year round goals. You know, let's kind of accomplish things as we go along. Let's accomplish things when we practice. Let's make sure everything is, you know, your time and your energy, because I did end up getting sick, you know, through all of that. And I had to kind of reevaluate that too, like the stress and pressure, but in a way of more just kind of stepping away. You know, that's my biggest thing to, like, you know, rookies that come out on tour. You know, you got to be able to have a balance. Like you can't be out there for 20 years if you don't. I mean, Webby has a balance. All of these veterans, you know, that are out there, they have balances. And when you're young, you don't want to hear that, but you need it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, I think it's what people don't realize is you're so excited to get on the LPGA. You're so ready to go. And then, you know, you go, oh my God, like I haven't stopped. I haven't had a break. I haven't had a week off. I've been working out. I've been playing. I've been practicing. And, you know, on the off weeks, you come home for a couple days and that's it. And then you go back out again. You're playing 5 or 6 weeks in a row.
And that's, and you know what it's like when we're actually at tournaments. Like you play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. Even if the worst thing to say, MC, miscut, you know, your butt's out there practicing more if you were even playing. So then you're really not resting.
Right. And even on off weeks that you have, I know you used to go to the US Open golf courses early and play to see what they were like. So, I mean, when you have, you know, doing things like that, I mean, you're really not, you know,
resting,
taking weeks off. Yeah.
And have, you know, your sponsors, your partners, you know, the people that you do, you know, make you you're able to go out there and play. You've got your days with them and photo shoots and things. Like it's not easy, and that did definitely take a little bit of toll on myself, but we learned to figure out, all right, like we need to listen to my body a little bit more.
Exactly. Well, Max asked a question here which makes me laugh a little bit knowing you. Will you have a caddy when play resumes or carry your own golf bag? Will we see Paula Creamer with a golf bag on her back herself?
You'll see me with a golf bag on myself from the car to the clubhouse. Like,
no, Shane will be doing that. What are you talking about?
That's true. I love having a caddy. Like, so you won't see me out there by myself. I mean, could I do it? Sure. We all can. We did it in junior golf, but do I want to do it? No. No, thank you.
Yeah, I think, what are your thoughts on the optional caddies for this year? I mean, that's, you know, I know they announced it a couple of weeks ago. It's definitely interesting.
It is. I mean, I feel like in junior and amateur golf, like it was key. Like it makes you the player that you are. I think, you know, being on a professional tour, it's another, proponent that like
Hmm.
you win. I mean, we're
Right.
all out there to win. And the caddies, I've had great caddies in my career, and I haven't had many of them. And they're a part of my family. I mean, they are with me when I'm miserable. They're with me when I'm the best player out there. I mean, there's all sorts of emotions, and a lot of that is from them. You
Hmm.
bounce off of them. I mean, if I'm coming back out, I want Megan on my bag. That's what I'm
Oh, there we
like.
go. Look at that. I love it. I got a job. Dave Plaster, watch out. I need a week off.
But I mean, it's a friendship, it's a bond, it
Hmm.
makes you who you are as a player. They know when things are going to happen before they happen, a
Right.
lot of the time. And when you have that relationship and they can help you and pull
Right.
you off and tell you, no, that's not the choice, and
Hmm.
maybe they're wrong, that's not
Right.
their fault. Like that's the difference, I think, of
Hmm.
having them be a part of your family. So for me, a caddy, it's huge. Like that makes everything.
We had a question. Who's going to be your caddy this year? Do we have a verdict yet?
I was just asking Wingman over here.
Oh yeah, I mean Dave. I know Dave's watching, so Dave, I might need a couple weeks.
Dave should use a couple weeks. Just
Yeah. So we had another question. Are you scared about COVID and traveling and all that?
I what do you I mean it's kind of one of those
Yeah.
things that you got to take precaution. I mean, I've definitely have gone through my share of hand sanitizer. I've got
Right.
my mask in all my cars, that kind of thing. Like, I'm prepared.
Yeah.
And yeah, am I afraid to travel? No. I mean, I'm not.
Hmm.
Like I said, you've got to take precaution, and hopefully everybody's taking care of themselves. I mean,
Hmm.
I've become a great cleaner, things like
Yeah.
that. But I guess just kind of where we're at right now. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to take it for granted, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. So we're just gonna field a couple questions. Are you still having fun competing?
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
I love pressure. I love getting out there and playing in front of the fans, and making shots that you don't normally, you practice at home, and then you get to actually do it in a tournament and you pull them off. Like, I love all of that. Travel's hard. Obviously it's going to
Hmm.
be even harder now with COVID, and staying
Yep.
in hotels, it's lonely. But there's ways around that too, being
Hmm.
able to base your schedule. I think that's what I'll do more and more, is,
Hmm.
play the events that I truly play well at, that I like. I'm at a point now that I know some of these golf courses just don't mesh well with me. And why am I going to go and play those when I can't do it,
Yeah,
Uh,
I get it. I totally get it. Well, we'll have to ShopRite. I mean, you got to come to ShopRite because you can come visit Hidden Creek. And Dave Plaster says, "Let's go." Meg is wearing Dormie gear when she's on the bag.
Done. That's fine. I
I
mean, as
love it.
long as she got some three stripes in there, and my CDW, we can rock the
We can
dorm.
get that. We can get that going. We can get that going. So you mentioned
Right.
what's that?
I
Oh,
love shop.
ShopRite's the best.
It's the best. It's one of the best. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a fun course.
It is. It definitely is. And it's only 15 minutes from Hidden Creek, where I am. So you have to come visit.
And that's where I qualified for the Open when I was
Yeah, that's right.
professional.
That's right. I remember that. So you mentioned Solheim Cup before.
Hmm.
You're built for Solheim Cup. I mean, we've seen it. Another Paula Creamer comes out. I've seen it in person. I've seen it live. It's pretty special to watch. How amazing is that feeling of representing your country?
There's nothing better. I mean, like, there's truly nothing better than representing your country, and wearing red, white, and blue, and going out there. And I think the whole team aspect is truly what I embrace and I love. I mean, I love people, and I love, entertaining also.
Hmm.
Like, I think it's fun when you hit
Yeah.
a great shot and you react to it. Like, I can't not do that. I mean, if you watch me play, like, I'm always like, hey, thanks, like,
I can't hear you.
exactly. Exactly. Like, you feed off one another.
Yeah.
And there's just something about Solheim that brings truly, like, that I have seen the best out of everybody. I've never had a match where it was like a bad match. It's like when we go
Hmm.
at it, I mean, these shots are being hit and you're like, how the heck did you just do that? Like,
Yeah.
Like I've hit some shots where I'm like, whoa, or like some putts where you look at someone and you're
Who
like,
is that?
yeah, like you're welcome. I can't do that again. Don't ask
Yeah.
me. Like,
Or people haven't putted well all year, and then at Solheim Cup they make everything.
everything. It's like 35 feet now, and you're like in. Or you
Yeah.
get it to 10 feet, and it's like downhill left to right constantly. It's like they made that like already.
Kerr's walking him in from a foot off the putter.
Exactly.
I mean, the ball is moved a foot, and Kerr has already walked it in.
Kerr knows literally, and it works out at Solheim like nonstop. Like that's her go-to.
Right.
It's like, so one time we always joke with Kirk, you know, he's playing obviously against her every week, but during that week we're like walk it in all the time. We don't care, like just walk it in. Not any other week, but just that one.
Right, exactly. So you mentioned, you know, rookie year you came on board. You wanted to make the Solheim Cup team. You've made the Solheim Cup team on points, but you've also been a captain's pick.
I have.
What is the pressure like as a captain's pick? I know, you know, I remember talking with you a lot when that happened, and you know, just explain to us what that feeling's like. Is it added pressure? Obviously, at the time of the event, you know, I got to perform well as a pick.
Well, being captain's pick, I was with Langer, and it was hard. Like that month and a half, 2 months before, like I knew I needed to play well, and I wanted to earn myself as a captain's pick too. You know, you don't want to just be picked to be picked, and obviously my record is good, so it's not like
not bad. Yeah,
perform,
it's not bad.
But
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
All right.
But still, like you want the best players playing, and you know, I did get picked that year with Langer, and man, I thought there was a lot of pressure there. But the following year, when I was, you know, first alternate, and when Jessica got hurt, like you never want to see that. Like you never want someone to pull out and being hurt and to be played. I mean, that was a lot of pressure because she deserved to be on that team and to play and everything. And then to fill her shoes, you know, that was tough. I was like, holy cow, you better figure it out this week. And I did, and I played well, and Austin and I did a great job. And, you know, as we were teammates and things, you know, in our pod and partners, but man, that's a different kind of pressure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you mentioned the pods. Just explain to everybody what that is. Cause I know, was it Davis Love did that for the Ryder Cup, and then, you know, Julie, or maybe Julie did it and then Davis, you know, followed. But what does that entail, and how do you pick the pods, or how are you put in pods?
It was actually Azinger. I'm pretty
Azinger,
sure.
that's right. Azinger,
yeah, it was Azinger that did the pods, and it was based off of like the SEAL mentality, in the military, the SEAL groups, and you put everybody in with the same, you know, personality, the way they think, the way that they play, the way that they're outside, you know, emotionally outside, you know, out of golf, and that's your pod. And you take a test, and you know, you have a person that reads it and all of that kind of thing, and then you're put in your pod, and then your captain is actually the same. Your pod team leader is the same person. So they did the test for everybody, and then they group them like that. And Nancy, when Julie was captain, you know, Nancy was our pod leader, our team mom. And you play all your practice rounds and everything with your 4 teammates, you know, and you're going to play with one of them. You're going to get along with one of them. Because sometimes when you're out there, I mean, people want to hear like good job, or some people don't want to hear anything. Like I'm a talkative person when it comes to certain things, but I'm also not talkative. Like, so being able to be with someone that knows when to say it is kind of key, and that's how they did it, and it's worked. It's worked a lot.
Yeah, no, it has. And so we had a question. Are we going to see Paula Creamer as a future captain of the Solheim Cup someday?
I hope so. Goodness. Oh man, I would love that. Either way, I think that it'd be fun to just be involved in it outside of playing, but I only want to do that when I'm done playing. I think it'd be tough, man. I keep telling Angela Stanford, you know, she's vice captain, and I'm like, girl, what are you going to do? You're going to be playing? Which one is it? Like, that's a tough thing. Like, you want to be able to, we're so used to devoting ourselves 100% to one thing. And then when you get that going on, being able to play and captain, it's tough. But hey, if you deserve it and you earned your way on, go for it.
So we just got a question. I think this is actually a really good question. How many pairs of shoes do you own currently?
I have I have quite the Adidas collection. I can tell you
Mm.
that. I've been with Adidas for 15 years now, going into my 16th year. So
Oh,
I've got some three stripes that you can imagine are pretty awesome. Now my heel collection,
yep.
that's a whole nother thing. That's got its own little world of its own.
Hmm.
If I'm not in my three stripe shoes, I am in heels.
Yeah.
So I balance it out very well. There's
Yeah.
not I can't remember.
Somebody just asked, what are your favorite pair of heels?
You can't go wrong with Christian Louboutin. You can't go wrong with some red bottoms. There's nothing bad about those.
Yeah.
Valentino, beautiful. Two go-tos.
So 2010 US Open champion. That sounds pretty good. I was there. I saw it. I was on 18 when you won. It was incredible to watch. You add in rain delays, 240-yard par threes, extremely difficult greens, pressure of winning your first US Open. What was that emotion like for you?
It's funny because I just watched it again. Golf Channel aired it the other
You
day.
were watching the Golf Channel?
I watched my
What?
two of all things. Like, I don't think I have ever done that. I mean, I've seen like clips and things, but like to actually watch myself, man, I hit some golf shots.
Yeah, you did.
Like, I was like, wow, Paula, like, goodness, go you, like, but, I went to Oakmont so I had my thumb surgery, and then I had my thumb surgery in March, and that was my US Open was my fourth tournament back. But so before that fourth tournament, so it was my fifth week before that, I went and played it. And I had, a bunch of interviews asking me, what did you think about it? It's the hardest golf course ever. What'd you think? And I only played it once because my thumb, I couldn't do it. I had to save it for those tournaments. And I looked at the guy and I was like, I love it. Like, I think it's one of the coolest places. It's awesome golf course. They're like, but it's so hard. I'm like, yeah, it's hard. You got to like golf your ball around, that's for sure, and hit good shots. But it's manageable if you do it. Did I think that like I was gonna win by 4 shots? No way, Jose. Like, I was just hoping to get 4 solid rounds of golf and without dying with my hand over here. I mean, I missed the cut the week before and was devastated. I flew in early and I was on the range on Sunday, literally with Wheelie, my caddy Colin, my dad, and I shanking the ball, like shanks. I'm in the corner, I'm like crying, I'm like, what am I gonna do? All this, all I wanted to do was play well and all. And then, you had that like big rain delay on Thursday. You had to go back or it was Friday, and you played so much golf on the weekend, and we had 2 simple thoughts. I had a putting thought and I had a full swing thought, and that was it. And I had a plan of how I was going to stick to that, and we did it. And that was it. Colin and I figured it out with Wheelie, and we did it.
Yeah, I remember I was staying down the street, and I played in the morning. So I was watching TV, and I'm like going, oh my God, she's going to win. I'm like, she's going to win. And so I ran back up to the club, and I was just, to watch somebody win a US Open, it was just so special to watch in person. I was so happy for you. And I know, how much that tournament, when we're all young, we get on the putting green and we go, we're going to make this putt to win the US Open, and you have that putt to win the US Open. It's just something that gives me chills. I'm sure it still gives you chills too.
Watching it the other day, I was like so like in the moment with it. I was like, oh yeah, look at this. I mean, and they kept saying I was like looked nervous or like gathering my breath. I mean, I was like, I felt like I was in control over there. I was just like, it was hot. They kept saying I was wiping my hands. Like, I don't sweat. And I wanted to be like, I wanted to tell them like, no, it's like, it's really just toasty out here. I'm like, it's
amazing what the commentators say. Like, when you watch it, like sometimes I'll be texting with Michelle. I'm like, hey, see you on TV, and she'll be like, I was like, do you remember this? And she's like, no,
no, I don't. But
yeah, it's funny.
It was cool. It was a cool week, that was for sure. All my family was there too, so that made it really special.
So you mentioned your thumb injury. You had surgery on your thumb.
Mm-hmm.
You had a pretty rough go, like leading up to that. You couldn't practice and prep like you normally would for a US Open. How did your injury affect you? I mean, I know you couldn't do as much practice as you wanted to, but how did that affect you leading up to that event?
You know, I didn't hit balls on the driving range without, like, they had to be on a tee. And I did that. That was my first week that my doctor actually said, go ahead and hit some balls off the ground, because I was playing so much golf too
Mm-hmm.
that we needed to save it. And that rough, and some of those tournaments that you play, more of it's from the rough,
Mm-hmm.
nasty. Like I hit chip shots out of that in the practice rounds and things, but like I would never really hit full swings. I had maybe 5 practice shots out of that the
Yeah.
whole, 4 days just to save it, just in case. But, I was icing it immediately because it would like swell up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that in honest to goodness, I mean, it definitely kept my mind off of, trying
Yeah.
to win a US Open. I've
Mm-hmm.
tried so hard for so many years before that and didn't get it, couldn't get it. And like USGA, I handled the bait and I took it every single time. So it was
Yeah.
kind of nice to have this other distraction,
Yeah.
and it worked out. But I mean, my wrist surgery was way worse than my thumb
Right.
surgery.
Yes, it
Like
was.
the recovery part of it. So I wish I had that thumb surgery recovery again, but I didn't.
Yeah. It's funny you say you hit off a tee leading up to the event. So I put, I'm teaching. I put my lessons at, I give them a tee. Why am I hitting off a tee? I'm like, we need to get some confidence. Like,
Confidence.
I mean, you
Yeah.
hit off a tee in practice all the time, don't you? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I do.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a good thing to just realize that, like, you see it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're creatures of habit. Like, we want to see it go where we're trying to go, especially at the end of the day, you're trying to hit it in a 4-inch hole. I mean, if it's going this way, you're never, you're not going to like that. But no, I practice off of a tee in drills. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's really good to do that with drills.
Absolutely. Yeah. And your practice, I mean, short game to long game, we were on a call today talking about game, preparation, game improvement, and really kind of coaching a player. What's your, if you have 2 hours of practice, how much time are you practicing, long versus short?
I mean, I'm a little different just because I have to like kind of be careful of my left hand and work. But I mean, it's probably a good 70% short game and wedges and 100 yards and in, and my 30% is, my drills. Like when I go to a driving range, it's strictly drill. I like to go out to the course and play, but
Mm-hmm.
when I'm practicing, I'm really just fine tuned. I feel like my 100 yards, my 125 yards, if I can, duplicate and replicate that over and over again, that'll lead into my longer irons, which is what I want to do. I want that kind of compact swing.
Right. No, it's a good point. I mean, I had a student last week say, I have an hour. What should I do? I said, 30 minutes short game, 30 minutes long
Yeah.
game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, short game's not as fun. I said, well, how about 40 minutes long game, 20 minutes short game? We got to get some short game in.
You
I
have
think
to.
that's so important because
Mm-hmm.
then you can hit it bad and you're going to recover. You're going to have, you're going to have some, you can save shots around the greens, obviously.
That's huge. You
So,
get a tee shot in the trees and you have to punch out and get up
yeah.
and down for par from 110 yards or whatever, 50 yards. Like that's key. That's so important. That's what saves you.
Yeah, for sure. So you've been an influential part of junior golf. I mean, I remember, at tournaments, there's little girls running up to you and they're dressed in pink. Junior golf is so important. And, what advice do you give junior golfers?
I mean, it is like the coolest thing in the world to see these little girls come out in their pink with their big ribbons on their hair. And, oh my gosh. And they're like, do you want to trade? And I'm like, at first I was like, no, this is like my ribbon, like I can't do it. Now I'm like, sure, let's trade, let's do all of this. And it's so cool. I've always said like the color pink was literally just my favorite color, but now it brings in, I mean, boys, girls, I mean,
Yeah.
it brings everybody kind of to the, it's like Ricky with his orange, Tiger with his red, and it never meant to be like that, but it became that. And it's like, it's one of the most like humbling, rewarding things that you can imagine. And I don't know. I think the biggest thing with junior golf, I mean, they've got to have places to play and practice. And it's tough with country clubs these days. I mean, there's so many rules and regulations, but I mean, that's the future of both the men and the women. And we've got to be able to kind of adapt to that. That's for sure.
Yeah, you have, I remember you posting, I can't remember which tournament. I want to say Toledo, but you have a young, you have a picture of a kid that used to follow you when he was really little. And
Oh,
now he's like,
Arkansas.
yeah, Arkansas. There it is. Yeah, I couldn't
Will.
remember where it was.
Yeah. So Amanda and actually Amanda, his older sister, came out when she was like 5 years old and drove to what's the one? Oh gosh. Oh, this is gonna drive me nuts. Not that it was like State Farm, like back in
Oh, the rail?
the rail, but not the
Yeah.
rails course. It was like the other one, like the next one, or that was
Oh, Panther, is it Panther Creek or
something
something?
like that.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
drove there and they like she carried this Pink Panther around the whole time. And Will, her younger brother, had nothing to do with the game of golf. And she's actually played in high school, which is really cool. Like she's grown up that way. But they live in Arkansas and they come out to Arkansas. Well, they live there. And they come out every time and like we match our outfits, you know, we're like this little team family. They're awesome. But that's the cool thing about the LPGA. And
No,
but you know,
that's
big
awesome.
shout out to my Amanda and my Will.
So have you been watching PGA Tour at all? You've been watching?
I have. It's kind of weird a little bit to see it with no fans, but I like it. I mean, you still hear everything. It's not like you can't pick up on things.
Right. I mean, I remember we went to the Masters and we were counting golf shoes, and I can't imagine Augusta without people. So
That is going to
it'll be interesting.
Thing. Yeah. Don't wear your golf shoes to a tournament. You're not teeing it up. You're not teeing it up.
The glove in the back pocket's my favorite. When you're at a tournament, I've walked in to a Panera Bread or something like that, and I've had my glove in my back pocket. It's the most embarrassing thing ever. So don't do that.
That's true. It's true. It's like the glove, you know, they've got like the collar popped maybe, you know, they had a good day, so they're feeling themselves, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, don't do it, guys. Just don't do it.
So, well, Paula, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And we'll have to get you out to Dormie Network clubs and come play some golf and stay overnight and come hang out with us. I know Dave Plaster wants to play some golf with you, so we got to get you out.
Yeah, Dave, you get ready. I'm coming for
Dave's got his new PXGs. He's like all ready. He's all ready.
You got to try the TaylorMade, man, not the PXGs. What are you doing?
Dave, you need a new set of clubs.
And Megan's on my bag when we play, okay?
There we go. Thanks, Paula. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck this season.
Thanks for having me, Megan.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.